All right, welcome back. So in this video, what I wanted to have a look at is incorporating loops into a song that you've already been working on, or maybe you have a song that you used other elements or some loops that you don't quite like, and you wanted to up the caliber. We're going to have a look at using a pre-existing song that already has some production work done on it and additioning some new loops from the Loop Loft in the song. Okay, so to start off with, let's just go ahead and we'll have a listen to what we're working with over here. So we've got a track over here that I'm kind of halfway through mixing, and it's a fantastic sounding song, very folky, very earthy, vibey sounding song. So let's go ahead and have a listen from verse 1.
After all our stuff's already here, I'm begging you, just please don't disappear.
And let's just solo the drums out to have a listen to them. So fantastic sounding set of samples over here, but I want to try some different ideas out. So maybe we'll go to the pre-chorus now.
You tell me there's a reason you have to go away. You say that you were leaving, I'm asking you to stay. Hey, hey.
And you can see that there's a bit of drum editing that's been done here in terms of choosing different loops. So what I want to do now is I want to addition some more drum loops against this session. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open up my browser and I'm going to go into my Files tab, and you'll notice here that I have Dry Drums Volume 1 from the Loop Loft open. Now in most DAWs, in the browser, you have the ability to actually listen to the drums that you're playing. As long as they have some type of tempo information, you have the ability to listen to them in the source session's BPM. So in this case, I have a source of 78 BPM in my source session. And then as you can see over here, we have some different loops where we have some different tempo information over here. So ideally what you want to do is choose something that's closest to your session BPM, or choose something that matches the style. Now in my case over here, we've got 110, 120, 82. So that would probably be a good fit. We've got 180. It would work, but this is really at the mercy of how good the algorithms are in your DAW. So we have another option here of 98 BPM, and then we have 138 BPM. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start off with these samples over here because they're at 82 BPM, so that's 4 BPM away from my source tempo. Now I'm going to go in here and let's just mute the drum stem over here. So now when we listen to our track, we have that shaker. I'm going to keep the shaker in there for sure. But now we can actually addition these different drum beats in relation to our session. And I've got loop enabled, so they'll continuously loop. And I also have an option where I'm playing them at the song tempo. So let's start having a listen to some of these different loops and how they work against the program material. Okay, that works, but it's not quite what I'm going for. Okay, so there's a cool fill at the end, which we might be able to use in some area.
Just believe in me. You tell me there's a reason you have to go away. You say that you were leaving, I'm asking you to stay. Hey.
Okay, so I think I've got a couple different options here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new track in my DAW, and let's just call it New Drums. And I'm going to arrange this on the fly as I'm working. So to start off with, I really liked the way this one played out. So let's go ahead and we'll drag this in right over here. And then I want to make sure that I bring my levels down to a good spot in terms of where they're sitting against my session. So we can just go ahead and open up our mixer over here. Let's just go ahead and drag this down and see how this plays out.
After all our stuff's already here.
Okay, so I can loop this out a couple times. Maybe we'll let this play out, but what I want to do is I want to get a fill from one of these ones over here. I heard something, I'm not sure which one it was in, but I heard something that really worked. So what we can do now is let's just go ahead and delete this. We're going to play again, but this time I'm going to play from bar 19, and we're going to play, and we're going to addition some of these loops so that we can get that back end fill to go into the pre-chorus.
I'm begging you to just believe in me. You tell me there's a reason.
Okay, so that actually worked out perfect. So what we can do is we've got a couple different choices. I can just choose to use the back end of this, or I could choose to use this whole thing. So let's see how this plays out in the track.
I'm begging you to just believe in me.
Okay, so now we need something different. So let's go ahead now, and we're going to move to this section, which is 21, our next section of the song. And I'm going to play the track, and I'm also going to play some of these new elements. And it'd be nice to have something with a ride or something like that. So maybe we'll go down here and see what else we have available. Okay, so we've got ride 2 fill, we've got pocket, ride 1. So we could try this one out.
You tell me there's a reason.
Okay, it might be a little bit too much. Okay, well, I like that one in terms of what happens on the back end. So what I'll do is I'll bring this in, and then maybe we'll just drag this to the last bar over here. And I want to move that to the right spot, and we'll trim this back just here. Okay, so now we just need to find something to fill in this pre-chorus gap. So let's start additioning some different choices over here. Now, one thing that we can do is we can just put this into loop mode. I'll move this just out of the way for now. We'll engage our loop so that we're listening relative to the track, and we'll try to find something that works in this section.
You tell me there's a reason you have to go away. You say that you were leaving. I'm asking you to stay. Hey, hey.
Okay, so I think that one will work. So I'm going to bring this in. We'll drag that in here. I'm going to duplicate this out, but then I'm going to pull this back because we have the nice fill from this one over here. So let's have a listen to see how this plays out. Maybe we'll give 1 bar pre-roll as well. So we'll take the loop off. This is coming out of the verse into the pre-chorus.
Just believe in me. You tell me there's a reason you have to go away. You say that you were leaving. I'm asking you to stay. Hey, hey.
Okay, so I'm happy with that. Now all we need to do is we need to find something for our chorus. And then I think what I can do is I can pretty much copy these sections out to fill out the other pre-choruses and the other verses in the song. So now we're going to go to our chorus section. I'm going to go ahead and loop enable this, and let's go ahead and have a listen to our track, and we'll play some different beats or some different loops against our chorus until we find something that works. Okay, so that's a possibility. Okay, so I think that this one could work. So we'll bring this in. It's a little bit of a longer loop as well, so that might work nicely. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this out. And then I think the one before here, maybe, we'll try this one. Just play this directly from the browser. Okay, I think what we'll do is we'll bring this in and we'll see how this works to move us back into verse 2. So what we can probably do here is let's go back, let's remove our loop, and let's hear how this transition works.
I'm asking you to stay. Hey, hey, 'cause after all of this comes the rest of the story.
So that's working pretty good. I mean, there might be a couple areas where we could finesse things or edit this loop out, but I think on the whole that that's working really good. So let's have a listen now back through our verse 1 and then the transition into the pre-chorus and then the transition from pre-chorus to chorus and then from chorus to verse 1.
After all, our stuff's already here.
And sometimes you can get interesting results by blending in two different loops altogether.
If all of this is something you
But in this case, I think we'll just listen to the one.
I'm begging you to just believe in me. You tell me there's a reason you have to go away. You say that you were leaving. I'm asking you to stay. Hey, hey, 'cause after all of this comes the rest of the story.
We can bring up the shaker a little bit to reinforce things.
After all the things we've said and done.
Okay, so the only thing I think that might not be working for me at this point is this transition that we have, this fill. I think what I'll do is I will take this out and I would rather take this one over here and bring this in to put it right over here. And then we could actually drag this out. Let's see how that sounds.
After all the things we've said and done. Just think about
So it's very easy for us to just listen within our DAW and try out all these different loops, and we can edit together a new performance by using sections of different loops, maybe the back end fill to transition in between our parts, but we can really start to flesh out some new ideas. Now this can be blended with the original tracks, or it can completely replace the original tracks, or it can be used as a really good guide track to have in place so that you can continue to build your production until you have such time that you're able to get into a studio and maybe retrack a live drummer, but get him to use the foundation of the loops that you've used from the Looploft collection as his foundation or his guide track, and then he can just mimic that or work off of that. But a lot of the times, you know what, you can just tuck them in the background just to have a nice steady beat underneath and then layer in some live stuff over top or even auxiliary percussion. It can be really, really useful. Anyways, I hope you guys got something from this video and we'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.